What is going on, everyone? Is Supreme Kami over here. So in today's video, or in this video to be exact, I want to be talking about enemy power reduce type build over here. That is something that I have not really kind of covered, and like how the build actually looks around. I'm pretty sure if you guys do hop into, let's say, Elite 3-on-3 arena, you guys will see that there are tons of defense type unit, and that can block a lot of hits. You guys will know that. Probably won't even do a lot of damage to them. I don't even know if a lot of them are using these types of parts right there, but that is going to be one way for you to, let's say, completely reduce whatever your enemy is going to be doing. So this is going to be a time for me that I just want to kind of quickly go over what my build is right now. So I'm going to probably put this into a different section. So right now I'm just going to be talking about my build. Not really going to be going over to like exactly every part. Just going to be going over some of like kind of my thoughts and ideas of like behind building my build right here. Then up next, I'm going to talk about some option on getting these reduction type parts over here, because like we have plenty of them. So there's not going to be anything to worry about. It's not going to be like, oh, solely to, let's say, Sokai parts, or even Gundam Battle Vessel parts. It's all a lot of those warfare parts. It's a lot of those standard parts. So everyone should be able to, if anyone does want to work on this type of build, everyone will be able to work on it, and it should be just pretty easy to access a lot of these parts. And then at the end of the segment, I'm gonna be hopping into maybe a free. I'm gonna do like a comparison. I'm gonna hop into a match where I'm not gonna use any, let's say, reduction type parts, and then I'm gonna hop into a match, exactly the same match. Then just gonna hop into the exact same match, and then using like this build right here, and just gonna see like how much did we tank. Just basically what we're gonna be testing things out over here. In terms of my build right here, just gonna quickly talk about that. This is more of like a, I want to say, shot based oriented over here with a melee oriented job lesson over here. Reason being that because there are gonna be some, let's say, reduction type parts trade that wants me to be using an infighter specifically. That is gonna be the GM story here. In order to get the benefit of enemy melee power reduced by 25%, I have to be using an infighter, so that is why I'm doing that. One more part that does need that is actually going to be the Mori Kenzu backpack over here. This one does want me to use another infighter job over here. That's why I did what I did right there. I believe in terms of like building out like what kind of type you're building in, I feel like in terms of shooting type, I don't see too many of a good options. So I feel like focusing on melee is gonna be a lot more better. I want to say, but in general, I have a little bit of mix of like just enemy shooting power reduced by like shooting reduction, melee reduction, EXK reduction, and then all power reduction type right there. And what I have learned from like people who has been doing these types of reduction build, they tend to use more in line of like just general shooting and melee power reduction type. Reason being, they tell me that if you are hopping into a match where, let's say, let's say your enemy does not use any EX skill, so what is the point of having an EX skill power reduction, right? Because you can't really take benefit into that. If you hop into, let's say, most PV, like most gaming content, there's not a lot of time where your enemy will execute EX skill. So if you want to build it, like build your build around, let's say, for playing those PvE content, chances are you're not gonna use that portrait is basically to a waste, right? So that's why they tell me that it is really best to, let's say, use melee, either melee or shooting, depending on how you guys want to balance it out. Like all in all, general, you want to be maybe roughly about maybe 100% for both. I think that should be a pretty good ground to that. For my build specifically, because I do have a split to some to like EXQ power reduce, so I won't be able to like completely go 100% for both my let's say melee and shooting reduction right there. So that's why when I hop into a match, you guys will see that I am going to take a little bit more normal attacks. That's why, because I don't have, because I sacrificed that with EXQ reduction type, right? So that's gonna be pretty much the backstory to that. In terms of like when building it, all in all in general, I feel like you want to just kind of sub slot it to whatever good parts you guys already have. For example, for me, for this instance right here, I sub slot some of these right here. A non-high stat to a really high stat right there. So that's what I did for the arm as well. What I did for the leg as well. And then in terms of the backpack, the same that as well. So that is like generically how you want to build around that. You just want to like sub slot that to like your main, like sub slot it into your main parts, and then try to fix up some word tag that you can potentially, I don't know, get a little bit more defensive type. That's why normally you would be using a defensive type, so you can get a little bit more in your both melee and shot defense, so you can oh no, tank a little bit better, get a little bit more armor base over here. But just depending on how my build is set over here, I have to be using, let's say, an infighter for example. But enough with just me talking about my build over here. I will be taking it live in action, so you guys can just kind of see how much I can take and all that. But let's actually go over to some option we have in game. I am gonna completely leave out the limited parts over here, because investing into these parts over here is gonna be way too expensive for even me personally. So that's why we are only gonna be focusing on some of these standard parts right here that has access to alteration, and that as well as some warfare parts that maybe warfare parts may not be the best case scenario, because like you never know, right? Because these are parts that we cannot currently get at all. So like once they're past their like alteration, like warfare alteration period time, like the time you can actually get the part, and it's quite impossible to get them at this point in time. So maybe those are the parts that I would skip for now, because like I know that not a lot of people will have access to. But I mean I guess I'll just kind of go over them as well, right? So once you guys are in the alteration page right here, you want to go to, let's say, a permanent over here and portrait and click on defense right here, and then you guys can see that there's a plethora of like parts that you guys can be looking at. I'm not really gonna go into details so like with each individual part, because that is gonna be something you guys will have to do yourself. Just filtering which kind of parts you guys want to be using, for example. That I'm gonna leave that to your own desire of like what kind of parts you be using. Not long, just kind of click on a single part and just trying to see what kind of stuff you have in here. So for this one, for instance, once you use an alpha job, and then after that you'll be able to grant EXQ shooting power reduced by 17%. So that's generally what kind of parts you guys want to be looking at. Definitely trying to do a little bit more filtering, for example. For like, oh, I want specific work check, for example, right? Maybe I want something that is going to be for my melee defense, like a tank build. So I may do something, just kind of play around with this over here. Maybe do close combat and just kind of see what kind of option I have. And I do have quite a lot of options. So that is generally how you want to like filter this box right here, or filtering this page, and trying to see if you can find the most optimal part for whatever your reduction type build is going to be. So maybe I can filter in with like a different more tag over here, maybe Gundam type, for example, right? We do have a lot of good options as well. So it just kind of like doing a lot of sort and filtering, just to see what kind of specific part you want for your specific build, right? Because you don't want to be using more tags that are not going to be too compatible, for example. So this is going to be an area where you guys can definitely try to see what part to pick. So up to this right now, I will actually go back to my list right here and just kind of cover. If you guys don't want to alterate anything at the moment, and just trying to see what you guys have in box, you guys can just kind of definitely go over to the surgeon page over here, and then click on the portrait slot or the portrait tab, and then click on defense over here, and then that should pop up everything that will have, let's say, melee power reduce, more melee power reduce right there, and then more and more. So this list goes on and on, but there are some that is not gonna be like really suitable, I would have to say. Maybe something that says along the line of like, oh, just kind of this one target, maybe something along the lines of like, I don't know. Some has really wonky ones over here, like Let me see if I can find one real quick. I know I saw something earlier. I don't know. Maybe like these over here. These are not good, right? These are not percentage over here. So that's why you want to pick yourself some that has like a percentage that will be a lot more better. So that is generally how you want to filter your box as well. You know, if you guys just want to quickly see what kind of option you guys have, definitely this is going to be the option. So up next, let me just actually take this bit right here. I'm going to take this into a limited type crew multi-mission, and I'm just going to let it simmer there. And then I'm going to see like how good we can tank. And then after that, I'm going to hop back in once again using an S attribute build, you know, just to not to have any discrepancy on any typing right there, and then we would just kind of compare like how much are we like how much were we able to tank. So well, let me just kind of hop into a quick multi-mission match, and then we'll be right back. All right, we are in the limited time crew multi-mission over here, so I'm not really gonna move at all. I'm just gonna see what kind of whoa, we are taking like roughly about 3 digits over here. That was like 1,000 right there. It's 4 digits over there. Okay. Wow. Haven't even died yet. Now we will. Yeah. So we were able to take fairly well, if I have to say, because normally if I hop in with hop in here with like a just a regular unit, just maybe like a regular build with like some power boosters and all that, I don't think I will be able to tank that well. So let me do hop back around with like an actual build, just a build that I would normally use in a crew multi missions and all that, and then we just kind of compare, not really compare to like the exact number, but I just want to see, are we able to tank double digits, or or could we tank a little bit better? So we'll be right back. All right, we're back once again. So per usual, I'm not really gonna be moving over here. So let's see. Let us see what kind of hit. Wow, oh my god, we could even survive the first wave. Oh my god, we take like quadruple digit right there, which is not good at all. So you guys can see that I was able to mitigate damage by 10 times right there, compared to like triple digits to like quadruple digit right there. So it actually does work in terms of my tank build right there. It actually did has a little bit of an effects onto that. But if I were to have excluded portrait that says along the line of enemy EXQ power reduced instead of use maybe melee or shooting, I should be able to tank a little bit better. But that is generally how you want to be building that. So up next, I'm probably gonna hop into maybe a few friend match. I'm gonna try to pick something where I can maybe potentially survive, maybe a custom EX skill, and just kind of like further show you guys how good a tank build is actually, or just try just to have a little bit of a different fun, because like normally in terms of what I have been talking about, it's just mainly about doing power, like trying to get the most amount of damage as possible. But I have not really never done a video talking about, oh, like you can do this, you can kind of let's say reduce your enemy by doing this and that. So that's why I just want to be covering on this topic right now. And let me hop into a quick fire match and just gonna see how much I can take. Alright, friend match number one over here. I probably took on someone that is maybe a little bit underpowered. In terms of my build over here, so we might be able to tank a little bit better than I would, anticipate it. If I would have but one thing to kind of keep in mind in terms of tank build, there's still no way to really tank like the full on custom EX skill, unless like you really have those good portrait that would mitigate everything. But let's see if I can. Why I die from this splash over here? Yeah, I tanked that really well. Yeah, that's really good, actually. Keep that in mind. My enemy is able to do type neutral, like type advantage to me, and I still have not really died from that. Maybe this one will actually. Yeah, this one will definitely take me out. It's just custom EXP, you just cannot survive from it. There's just no way. In terms of how I build my build right there. Alright, friend match number 2. This time around, I am gonna have type advantage over my enemy, but we'll see. Like what, this one does actually have a little bit of a higher stat. Does have a little bit of a better E skill over here. So does have does have some custom E skill. So we will see how much can we tank over here, right? So this is gonna be the skies, the double sky samurai right there. So wow, that Yeet did a lot of damage. My gosh, and there we go. Yep, even a type neutrality or type advantage on my end, how many did I take from that, whatchamacallit, from that, shield rather? That was a lot, to be honest. So let me hop into another one now. Alright, this one will be our final one over here. Just wanna witness like how much can we take over here. This is gonna be another type advantage on my end over here. But it does have a few custom EXQs, so I think I'll just completely back right out of that. Wow, did not expect me to tank that well. So let's see. This is gonna be the H Magnum SV over here. Can I tank this? Oh, I cannot. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate right there. But that is it. And there you guys have it. So this is generally how an enemy power reduction type build works over here. As you guys can see that even with what I have in stock right here, there's still plenty of situation that where I am unable to tank all that stuff over there. But I will have to say, in terms of custom EXQ, there's just really no way to kind of take from that. That is something that I don't even know what kind of investment that I will need, for example, in order to tank that build. But that is generally how it works over here. I feel like in terms of my build, if I would be able to set this as the actual defender type, that will allow to have these parts shine a little bit more. But for the time being, this is what I'm currently going to be working on right now. But do let me know, like, are you guys interested into, building out like a tank, like a fully tank build like this, or is this something you guys would just kind of pass by and not really too much focus on that? Do let me know that in the comment section below. But that being said, that is going to be pretty much it in this video right here, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.